Well, hello everyone, it's Kevin here with Mobile DJ Remastered. Thank you so much for joining me on my channel. And today I want to do something a little different. I want to have a little bit of a story time. And this is a story about one of my favorite examples of where I just crushed it as a DJ. It's one of my biggest wins. And what I want to do is tell this story in hopes of getting you guys to share your stories and tell me about your biggest wins in the comments below, or just tell other people. I think us as DJs, a lot of times we share and commiserate on some of the negative things that happen or some of the problems that we have and how we had to solve them. But I would love to hear some great stories, some hero stories, okay? And this is one of mine, one of my favorites. So about a year ago, so this is during the pandemic at its height, I was doing a wedding, and the venue was actually pretty rural, and we didn't have a lot of restrictions in terms of, social distancing and masks, although we did have, suggestions of everybody, do what you need to do to feel safe. And there was certainly sanitizer around and whatnot, but it turned out to be a pretty big party, and I had a lot of fun doing it. But in any case, the couple were super cool. The whole wedding party was great. And we got in there and I did my thing just as normal. It didn't feel like I did anything special at the time. And certainly I didn't have a string of mistakes that made me feel bad about things. I think I crushed it. I felt really good about it. Well, in any case, a few weeks after the wedding, I got my review from the couple and everything seemed great. And then I got contacted by the best man from the wedding, and he reached out and he said, look, as you know, you did my brother's wedding a few weeks back, and it was so good. It was so great that my wife and I were talking, and we got married a year ago, and the party was okay, but we want the kind of party you had for my brother and his new wife. So we want to book you to do our reception, like a redo of our reception. So that blew my mind, guys. Like, I've never heard of that. Like, okay, we had our reception, we had our wedding, we had our reception, everything was fine, but we're going to do another one. We're going to do a redo, a do-over, because this DJ is going to throw such a wicked dope party. And oh my God, that is like the ultimate compliment. Like, wow, that made me feel so good. Like, I must have crushed it. I must have really did a good job. And of course, I went back to the footage because, I make little videos for my couples, and I went through and I'm looking through and I reflected on what led up to that decision. So, what led to this person, this best man, thinking and talking to his wife, like, this party is so fun. We got to do our wedding over again just to get this DJ. So I reflected and I came up with a couple ideas. And I jotted them down. I'll let you guys know. So first, I remember that during cocktail hour, the wedding party was kind of outside. They were getting pictures. It was a beautiful day and everybody's outside. And I remember I ran up to them, and it was just, during cocktail hour, and I checked in with them. Hey, y'all doing okay? Y'all need a drink? You need anything? And they wanted some claws. So I grabbed them some claws. And that just sort of hospitality kind of thing. I felt that they enjoyed. But it wasn't that. I think it was the comment that I made to them. I said, oh man, I just dropped some Childish Gambino on them there in the cocktail. I'm hoping they like it. I'll go see. And so I kind of like made a connection with them, like on the hip hop side, okay? And maybe they thought that was cool. I'm just trying to think, right? Later, what contributed to this? That was one thing. I think that I connected with them early, and they thought, oh, this guy's cool. He knows some jams. He knows some music. And he's willing to take a little bit of risk to see if people will like that kind of music or whatever. So in any case, I then, during the actual reception, I would do things like a couple times I called him out, the best man and his brother. They're like best friends in addition to brothers. And I called him out just a couple times. And I think that he appreciated probably that camaraderie and that connection, with him and his brother on his big day, So I think that was pretty good. But probably the big piece was I did this hour and a half set. I think it ended up being an hour and a half set of classic hip hop, and it was just banger after banger after banger. And I mean, it was just the whole place was just so lit. It was so good. It was so like just, you know, the throwback vibes, of course, were there. Back to the club days when these guys were growing up, and I you know, you could tell they were into it big time, and they had the dances down, of course. And they just, you could see they went back in time and they loved it. So I think that whole vibe that we set, that big block of hip hop, and I could have stopped it. Like I remember in the moment thinking, oh yeah, there's a couple of spots in here where I could probably, you know, hey, let's slow it down. Cause you know, us as wedding DJs, we got to build a journey, right? And there were a couple of points where I thought, hey, let's stop and go ahead and drop a different style or do a left turn, go country, maybe even get some slow dances in. But I just went with it and I kept going and they loved it. So in any case, I think that might've been the big contributor to this. We also played like a unique little game with a couple. And I was trying to think some other little things, but I think those are the big contributors. So, making a connection with people, showing some music prowess, and then crushing the dance floor, and just kind of like staying with the vibe and seeing people go back in time with memories and even making new memories. I think that all kind of sums up why they said, we got to have a party with you, Kevin. We got to redo our wedding reception. So in any case, it's coming up in like a month from now. As I film this, it's about a month from now, and I'll certainly do a gig log, and I'll probably mention it briefly in that gig log, you know, that, hey, this is this wedding that I'm doing because it's a redo. So in any case, I just wanted to share that very positive story. One of the things I'm most proud of in my DJ career so far, I guess I could say. And I would love to hear your stories. If you have any of you want to share some time that maybe you crushed it as a DJ. And as you can see, it didn't really come down to like technical things like, of course, you can probably imagine I mixed the music really well and everything during my set, but it's not like, oh, I had this scratch session and I scratched for 2.5 minutes and I just wowed everybody and they went nuts. Or, oh man, I did something technical, like I made a remix and it just dropped and everybody went crazy. Like nothing like that. It wasn't a technical feat that I accomplished and led to this thing I'm so proud of. It's more about the connection, the human connection, and doing my thing. So in any case, guys, I hope that helps or inspires you guys to think about the positive, the big wins that you've had in your DJ career. I'd love to hear about them. And even if you don't share them with me in the comments here, just share them with other DJs. Put them on the Facebook pages for DJs. Sometimes they get a little negative. They get a little bit feisty. I think these positive stories, if we just put them out there, can really show some of the reasons why we love to do what we do. Okay, guys? So in any case, thank you so much for watching. Thanks for joining me on my channel, and I'll talk to you next time.